This is The Journal on DWTV in Berlin. I'm Brent Goff.
And I'm Monica Jones with the business news. Welcome.
Here are the headlines this hour. The waters rise and thousands flee. The Australian city of Brisbane is inundated by massive floods. Frustration and discontent. Haiti, 1 year after the quake.
And Germany's economy grows at its fastest rate since reunification.
People in the Australian city of Brisbane are bracing for what could be the worst flood in 100 years. Meteorologists expect the flood surge to peak within the next 3 hours just before sunrise. Tens of thousands of homes are being overrun as we speak, and residents continue to seek higher ground.
The disaster is likely to be the worst ever of its kind to hit the city.
Well, earlier I spoke to Neil Roberts. He's the Minister of Emergency Services in Queensland, and I began by asking him what his people are able to do at this point to limit the disaster.
Currently in the city of Brisbane, people are preparing and have been preparing for a couple of days for the peak of the Brisbane River.
Well, I just spoke with our correspondent Max Hoffman in Haiti, and I began by asking him about the frame of mind of Haitians today. Well, now to the fallout from the political unrest in Tunisia. The country's president has ordered that those arrested in clashes with police be released. He has also sacked his interior minister. In continuing violence on Tuesday, 4 people were killed in the town of Kasserine, southwest of the capital Tunis. Protesters ransacked public buildings, setting fires and throwing rocks at police. Unrest has gripped the North African nation for weeks as protesters demand jobs and better living conditions. Well, a shakeup in the government in Lebanon. Cabinet members representing Hezbollah say that they will resign. It comes on reports that a UN tribunal investigating the assassination of Lebanese Prime Minister Rafik Hariri may indict Hezbollah members. Hariri died along with 22 others in a bombing back in 2005. The resignations could topple the government of Prime Minister Saad Hariri. All right, time for business now. Monica's here to talk about German GDP.
That's right, Brent.
Thank you very much, Monica. Well, a Russian investigation into the plane crash which killed Polish President Lech Kaczynski has placed the blame on the Polish crew of the plane. The report says that a Polish Air Force commander who had been drinking pressured the crew to land in bad weather. The aircraft carrying the president and 95 others crashed in April last year near the Russian town of Smolensk, killing everyone on board. Well, the German government is set to ask Parliament to authorize another year for the 5,000 German troops stationed in Afghanistan. The new mandate, approved by the cabinet today, also says that German soldiers should begin withdrawing by the end of the year, if the situation on the ground permits. Foreign Minister Guido Westerwelle, seen here, had pressed for a timetable for withdrawal. The Defense Minister, Karl Theodor zu Guttenberg, opposed that. He says he is opposed to setting any date for a pullout. Earlier, I spoke to our chief political correspondent, Melinda Crane, and I asked her how that disagreement within the cabinet over the wording of the mandate was resolved.
Well, it was resolved by setting conditions for withdrawal that make that exit date largely symbolic. The mandate does name a date for the first time, namely the end of 2011, but it says that withdrawal should be contingent both on the overall military situation and on Afghanistan's ability to take over responsibility for its own security. Now, as you said, it was the Foreign Minister Guido Westerwelle who was determined to name a date. He is mindful that his party isn't faring very well in the polls and that there are important regional elections coming up, and this mission is not popular among the broader public. He also wanted to get the opposition SPD on board when the mandate is voted on. The compromise formula, that was largely the work of the defense minister, zu Guttenberg. He says that anything more binding than this would be foolish.
And Melinda, quickly before we let you go, are we likely to see German troops begin withdrawing at the end of this year?
Well, because those conditions are so broad, any withdrawal is likely to be quite minimal, and military experts say it might even be cosmetic. It might entail simply moving troops from one district that is slightly more stable to another where things are more turbulent. Now, that is not likely to satisfy those Germans who are looking for a bona fide withdrawal.
All right, our chief political correspondent, Melinda Crane, there reporting for us. Thank you, Melinda. Michael Jackson's doctor will stand trial for involuntary manslaughter in the death of the pop star. On Tuesday, a California judge ruled that there is enough evidence to try Dr. Conrad Murray. The judge also revoked Murray's medical license in California, saying that allowing the cardiologist to further practice would constitute a danger to public safety. Jackson's mother and sisters were in the Los Angeles courtroom on Tuesday. Jackson died in June of 2009 from an overdose of the anesthetic propofol, which he had been taking for insomnia.